Hello YouTube channel. I am back to share a flip through of my recent Dina Wakley journal. I'm trying to think of when I began this journal. It was probably a year ago, or maybe even a little bit longer. So it's been a really busy year. I've started my own business. We were just settling into this house, I think, when I started this. So usually I used to go through these quarterly, like every 3 or 4 months I'd finish one. And this is my 13th. I just counted my 13th large Dina Wakley, well, this size, the 8x10 Dina Wakley journal. But life has gotten really crazy. So it took me a year to finish this one. And I'm going to say it's not completely finished. But I'm kind of excited because as soon as I finish one, I make a cover and I start a new one. And I always start with a certain feeling with some new themes that I want to explore or whatever else. So I'm very excited to be finishing this. And it's so nice because it's the span of a year. It kind of chronicles some of the things that I was working on each month. And so it's a way for me to capture time. I never was a scrapbooker or anything like that. So these journals are kind of like that for me. It's my artistic journey, chronologically sometimes. So this was from a freebie life book, I believe, lesson from Melissa Rivers. So this was a teaser for her classes. So I did that in here, and I really like this concept. I actually should try this more often. And then in here I have some Dina Wakley chipboard and tissue, and just doing kind of a quick assemblage. And I actually love the cloth papers. It's just a fun way to put assemblages on them. However, in this journal, I didn't finish all the cloth pages. So this is just another one of some botanicals I made and a Tim Holtz picture. And this one was done October 1st, 2021. So yeah, I mean, I'm not good at math, but this journal is definitely a little bit over 12 months old. I forget what inspired this, but I just love it. This is the Tim Holtz stencil, the moon stencil. It's really cool because it's stencil and mesh, so you can make the different kind of craters on the moon. And then I did some of my fodder here, just some loose watercolor flowers, inspired by, I think, Tiffany Sharp's lesson in Fodder School 1. And then these are stenciled botanicals from Dina Wakley's stencils. This was another life book inspiration, or at least Tamara Laporte, because I love her style. I love how she makes there's certain faces that she makes, and she does this really dark, intense, like shading around the eyes. So I was experimenting with that. I really like how that came out. And then she had a lesson with rainbows, spilling kind of, I forget it. It was something about how to make the watercolor rainbows kind of drip. And I thought that was so cool. So I did that here, again, combined with a lot of my loose, like, watercolor botanical stuff. And then this was a freebie from Lisa Young, my dear friend, who was doing it for Lifebook as well. And I just love this idea of making like a pocket card. And of course that fits so nicely on the burlap pages for Dina Wakley. This was inspired by the artist who sent me these, and I'm totally blanking right now. I got to put it in the comments. I have to go and look back, but she has her own company, and she has beautiful little collage bits that you can get. So I put those in here. And I love that the colors that she had sent, they really spoke to me, the color combinations. So I incorporated those in here as well. And then a Rikki Tikki Tavi scrappy tag and a Dina Wakley chipboard. And then some of these, when I look through them, I can see I'm working on some of the promo stuff that I do for Ranger. This was probably when Dina was launching these stencils. This is the mosaic circles, I believe. And some of her tissue and stamps. So I kind of put that all together. This is another card from the Lisa Young life book lesson. So I put that in there. And sometimes I'm just, you know, playing and experimenting and that sort of thing. This was another Dina Wakley release. And I think at this time we were promoting the syrup and mineral and sage sprays, which I absolutely love. And also some new stamps. I love the Dina Wakley sprays. They're kind of my favorite thing to use of all time. I don't do it every time I go to sit down, but it's just the quickest way to just get really interesting colors and textures on everything. So, and then this was also part of this release, and I did a lot with Sedona and turquoise colors because I really love those. And I love her funky peeps. These really weird characters that she creates, they just make me so happy. And this was another one with using some of her collage tissue on there. But you can see I haven't completely filled the fabric pages. So I usually go back and look through. I have drawers like this full of collage bits just waiting for a home. So like I'll go back and find some of these and just start putting them in journals so I have them in a place. I tend to be fairly prolific, so those things collect, and then I actually become, you know, like which ones get to go in the journal. It's like this hard decision. So here's another tag with just some loose watercolor mushrooms, another Dina stamp, and just experimenting. This is right about the time that I was getting close to thinking about designing my own stencils, and it all started with this hand. So I had started with this hand. These are the prototypes because they're actually bigger than the actual stencils, but I had kind of hand cut them out. This was the branch, and kind of going from there. I'm just exploring those in my journals, and the bird. So it was just kind of fun. I think this was some pretty washi that I had made from a lesson in fodder school for August, autumn moon. I always want to say August. Here's another really, if you hear kids in the background, it's because they're feeling better and they're very loud. It's the weekend today, so I'm not going to get a perfectly quiet house, but it's my YouTube, so I'm just really real. That's how it is around here. This was a fun experiment, just doing like a teeny tiny assemblage kind of in the middle of a page. I love this idea. I want to explore this more. And that's sometimes what these journals are. I get excited about exploring themes, and when I do keep these big ones, and so I can pull them out at any time, and I can see my experiments and at a later date and say, oh, I want to go back and try that out. So this was a really fun one. I think it was based on a Dina Wakley class or a supporter video where she was kind of showing how to get these watercolor resists with the sprays and gesso, which again, like I forget to do this kind of thing until I open it up and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta try that again. And just doing some more. I think this was, again, another release, so I was trying to do some stuff for that release in here with the stencils and the tissue papers. I just love her images. So here's some more from the release. Just doing, this might have even been, I can't remember if this is a Ranger tutorial. I don't think so. I forget. This was so fun. This is one of my favorite stamps that she's ever done. And I could put, my stamps are right below me. I could poke through and find out which one is. But anyway, I just loved this face. But I loved really having, exploring like how she could just be peeking out or little parts of her. I just loved playing with that. So, now I finally have some stencils going here. I think this is after my first release. And so I have like my calendar stencils. I think this is a little video on my Instagram. Making nests for the birds, putting the birds in the nests. It's just so fun. This was from a, this is all in Create, stamps and stencils, and it was for a solidarity thing for the Ukraine, right when the Ukraine war was happening. So a whole bunch of artists got together and used products with the colors of the Ukraine flag. This is exploring more with my next stencils. I have the houses and exploring with her paper dolls. And just kind of playing around. I love these. I need to do more of these where I like putting things on their heads, you know, like all different kinds of bits. But with the houses, there's an artist that I love, Jean Marie Art. And she's a South African artist. I'm obsessed with her. But anyway, she's always putting houses on her people. And I just thought, oh, that's an interesting concept to explore. She's really cool. You should check her out. Just exploring the waves and how to use them. But yeah, I need to go back. And sometimes I'm just slapping stuff down on pages. This is just a paper doll that I liked, that I wanted to keep, so I put it in here with one of my fossil stencils. And this was really fun. Again, just playing with the Dina Wakley sprays. I can't say enough good things about them. And just, oh God, I'm so sorry. My 4-year-old he was recovering from pneumonia, and now he clearly is fine. It's like so loud. And just exploring with some of the themes from my wave stencils. So you can see this release had just come out. It says doing some beachy ideas here and just kind of playing with that. And just more exploring with my stencils and more Dina Wakley sprays here. This is probably the Rouge Syrup and Orchid colors. So it's just kind of playing with that. And of course, Tim Holt's Peep. And I think that's it. I always leave a couple of pages undone in the back of my journals because for me, I do it to reinforce the fact that I don't have to be perfect. I have completely finished them, but it's my way of saying and accepting, like, it's time to move on. You don't always have to finish everything completely. This is good enough. Just so I kind of take that pressure off. And I'll always have these pages if I need to go back and do a video or I have something that might fit well. I can go back and add it to my journal. But anyway, I just wanted to do a quick flip through and throw that on here. I need to do these things more often. And now that November is over, because it was just so crazy with the holiday sales and I launched a class, fodder school began. It was a lot all in 1 month. So anyway, I'm kind of back now and life should be getting a lot slower. But one thing everybody should do, if you're watching this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel because I have some fun things that I want to do here and I don't want people to miss out. And also subscribe to my newsletter. I'll put the link in the description. definitely subscribe there, because that's where I list sales. I do pre-sales for my subscribers, sometimes with extra discounts. I'm really trying to get people subscribed because the Instagram and social media is really changing. And quite frankly, it's really hurting artists who have art to share or classes to share or anything. It's just the algorithms don't work in the way that they used to. And so newsletters are the best way to support artists and really make sure that you're staying in touch with them, because so often now, like a lot of the work that we put into sharing everything on social media, it's not being shared anymore. So you might not see it even if you follow an artist, that sort of thing. So the newsletters, those are the lifelines for artists. So please, please subscribe. It's awesome. I'm going to be doing a free class. I'm going to try and do that here on my YouTube, and all the subscribers will get the link. It'll be private. So if you're a subscriber, you will get the link. So I want to do that in January. I have a really fun idea. So definitely go and subscribe. And if there are artists on Instagram that you love or social media, if they have newsletters, subscribe to those too, because it's going to be the lifeline going forward to staying in the know and the pulse of what's going on. All right. Thank you so much. And I'll try to be back here again soon with maybe another flip through of another journal.